Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pints and Nutmegs, and I'm Craig, and get started as we do. It's a Cruise Campo again. I'll give this. Pour. A little bit of head, no harm. And a couple of things I do want to say. So be patient with me. I need to get better recording equipment. At the minute, I'm just doing this off my laptop. It was something I was thinking about doing for a little while, and I've only really just started doing it. I'm getting used to everything. The editing will come along with that. Like I've just sort of done it basic for now, a little intro, and yeah, so I'm gonna cut that down because I know it's a bit too long. I'm gonna have, like I say, better recording equipment, and everything will come along as it goes. Um, in regards to what I spoke about last week, the podcast, I think our first one should be coming towards the end of the month. We've got a studio in London, West End London, that we're going to be recording in. Um, I'll confirm the name. I'll speak to the other because there's three of us that are co-hosting, and then we're gonna have guests on talking about hot topics of like whatever teams and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's going to be coming. And once I familiarise the name, I think something like Global Fan Base, I'll push it out there through my stuff as well. One of the other lads has a very big following, and we'll get that going as well. In terms of this, as I say, I appreciate everyone that's been subscribing, liking, following, leaving comments, whatever. I appreciate any feedback I get from anyone. Some of you message me personally, and I appreciate that. Um, so I know where I can improve and where I need to improve, and that's cool. Um, it's constructive criticism, and yeah, obviously, as I say, as time goes on, it is just going to be generally football focused, and it'll be as neutral as possible. As you've gathered, I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'll talk across all teams in an unbiased manner. Um, Obviously, this has been solely focused on the World Cup and some transfers that have gone on throughout. And yeah, let's get into it. So my last recording was on Wednesday before where there was no games, and on the Thursday you had France against Morocco. I feel like, I feel like Morocco could have been the team to nullify France, but they weren't. France just got the job done. To be honest, Morocco were left open many a times, and France were having the better of the ball in the game. I mean, they are the better team. So obviously they won 2-0. Spain, Belgium. Now in this game, I feel it was tight. I don't feel like, you know, I feel like Belgium actually had more going forward at times. It was obviously 1-1. Marino comes on in the last few minutes and comes in clutch like he did in the game before. He's very efficient at doing that. He's done it for Arsenal. Very good in that role. And yeah, obviously Spain edged it. They beat Belgium. So in the semi-finals, you can have Spain versus France in one side. Go on to Saturday. England against Norway 2-1. It went to extra time. Norway got the early goal, but first 30 minutes England played very, very well, and then it was like their performance levels dropped off. Norway grew into the game. Obviously, they got the goal against the run of play, which we know that that goal wasn't a shot; it was a cross. Um, Ezri Konsa, allowing that cross in. Normally, the fullback blocks that cross. Jordan Pickford, I know he's coming to cover near post, but a few people said to me, like, as that was going in, his hand was there and he pulled his hand away. Why did he pull his hand away? I don't know. But England played well. Bellingham, man of the match. Bellingham was phenomenal that game. And the difference is, you see it, like, Madueke, we have to endure him at Arsenal. He's just not. that man. I don't understand why I paid 50 mil for him when we've got Ethan Nwaneri. We can use him. He likes number 10, but he can play out wide. He's left footed. He can cut in. You got Max Dowman, and you don't want everything relying on Max Dowman on his shoulders at such a young age. But when you got Saka, and then you got Nwaneri, which we loaned out second half of the season, and Max Dowman, they're all three of them already better than Madueke. Um, yeah, I don't know. Saka. Hold on, let me just have a sip of this and I'll get into it. For me, Saka's sublime. Like you can see, oh, he's injured. We know he's got to have surgery when he comes back, and I would rather with him when he comes back to Arsenal have that surgery and be out till October. I'd rather deal with that, and then when the season comes to crunch time, you've got the busy schedule and everything else. He's back to full fitness. He's had the surgery. He's recovered, and we kick on from there with him. Um, in terms of England, what for the last two, three tournaments? I mean, for two tournaments, he was England's best player, and another tournament, he was up there as one of the best players. You can see the difference. An injured Saka is better than a fully fit Madueke. He's direct, and there's moments like I saw it. He had two man on him, and he still managed to beat his man, run to the byline, and put a dangerous ball in because they know he's left footed. They know he wants to come inside, and if he does do that, they find it hard to stop him. But he's also worked at this for Arsenal for the last few years, where he doesn't always have to. He can go that like down the side to the byline and cross with his weaker foot, which is not so weak now. He's learned to be effective in both dynamics. He's very versatile in that effect. He's so good. You can see it like throughout the tournament when he's come on from the bench. I think it was against Croatia. Within 5 minutes, he got an assist. He was had no right in getting that assist as well. Like he was near the halfway line, near the throw on line, took his man on, beat his man, run it through. Obviously played it to Kane, ran off the ball, anticipated that Kane the ball was going to be loose, got it, played it through to Rashford, and got an assist. And every other game he's played, he's been effective, he's been direct, he's been impactful. The one game, I can't remember what group game it was, maybe Ghana or where he started, him and Rashford started, but you could see they were lacking in match sharpness, and that was because they hadn't had enough minutes prior to that. But they were still looking better than what, or he was looking better than what, like Madueke is. And you know, in the game, oh God, what game was it? What game was it? What game was it? Who did we play? Who did we play before Norway? My mind's gone blank. But in the game before Norway, the assist or the way he played the ball in again, he was good. He was getting in dangerous positions. He was taking his men on. He was playing good balls in. He's just effective. He's intelligent. He's dynamic. He's great, and we need him to start against Argentina. If you start Saka and Gordon against Argentina, against Molina and Tagliafico, they're going to struggle. They're going to really, really struggle, especially in the centre back pairing of Lisandro Martinez and Christian Romero up against Bellingham and Harry Kane. Because Argentina's defence isn't good. The midfield's not great. Rodrigo, De Paul, and McAllister, they're not, Anderson and Rice. Just the levels are different. You can say Enzo Fernandez is a good player, and he is, and Messi is. But other than that, it is Messi that's been coming in clutch for him. So yeah, England good. Stones was great. Nico O'Reilly playing his natural football, amazing, really, really good. Like getting the license to go forward and play his game. I think that's the first time this tournament he's had the freedom to do that, and he was again one of the better players on the pitch. Stones was great. The communication between him and Gahey seemed a lot better than what it is when Konsa's in the centre back pairing. Anderson was blinding. He, shutting everything out, spraying balls everywhere. I feel like as well, we noticed when Rice came off, and Bellingham dropped into number 8. It's nothing on Bellingham. It's like there was a hole. Norway had started getting more of the game. They were getting forward more. You could see the difference in that when that happened. I think it was just for a pair of fresh legs. Also, what I don't understand, Kane wasn't having the best game. Kane wasn't leading the line. He wasn't getting into dangerous positions. He was knackered, especially by extra time. By the 80th minute, his legs had gone. And we took two other strikers, and we're not using them. I don't get it. Like, at that point, Kane should have come off. He could have brought on Ivan Toney in terms of he's got the physicalness and the height of Kane. He's got the pace of Ollie Watkins. I'm not saying he's better than either of those players, by the way, but he's got the best of both. He's got a height. He's got pace. If you want the physicality, he's got it. If you want the pace, he's got it. Is what I'm saying. We should have just brought him on, especially against tired legs. Kane at that point he couldn't do anything. He couldn't impact anything. I see it at one point like Eze was getting forward in the wide position. Kane's walking and he ain't even in the box. What can Eze do if your front man's not there? And it was happening time and time again from different players getting in different positions. Jed Spence was running in. I will say the ref amazing. I think that's the best refereeing I've seen in this World Cup. I like that referee. He's the one obviously everyone says looks like Trossard's brother, but he's a very good ref. Hats off to him. He was very, very good. He was neutral. He was fair. He called the game as it should have been. There wasn't really anything where I think, do you know what? Maybe a couple of times where Norway kicked the ball away when we were about to take a free kick. But nothing really to scream and go, oh my god, like he got so much wrong that day, or he's favouring one team more than the other. He just wasn't. He was a very good referee. Um, Going on to the next game, Argentina Switzerland 3-1. I'll be honest, at that point I was asleep. I missed it. But from what I hear, again, it was one of those games throughout this tournament where, from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, is that Argentina getting favoured heavily with decisions once they're not winning, or it looks like they're gonna lose. I've seen it a couple of times. Obviously, I see it with Egypt. I see it here. I see it there. And there was one where I think one of the players was booked, and then I think it was Lautaro Martinez or someone was booked, run into the stands with the fans while they're already on the yellow card. And normally, when you do this over celebration thing, you get a second yellow. But Argentina are FIFA's golden boys because of Messi. Messi's phenomenal, and we know how good Messi is. He's, leaps and bounds above Ronaldo and the best player ever. But so, moving on to the semis, England have Argentina. The last time we played them, I believe, in a competitive match, or in any match for that match, we haven't played them in friendlies, was 1998 when David Beckham got sent off against Diego Simeone. It's going to have all the makings for a clash. There's going to be fire. There's going to be ambition. There's going to be angst. I mean, obviously there's elements of other stuff like the Falklands, but aside from that, Argentina being heavily racist the way they are, like with their singing and chanting, towards like the French and stuff, the refereeing decisions, the controversy and the historical like stuff we've had within the hand of God with Diego Maradona, and then as I say, the Simeone getting Beckham sent off. There's makings there for a really competitive game, and it's not going to be nice. The English players will know this. They know that they're going to be nasty. So it's not one that you can call. You can't call any of these games at this point. But the 4 teams that most people thought would make to the semis have made it to the semis. Norway, being most people's dark horses, got to the quarterfinals and done very well, which, everyone said how well they'll do. Yeah, this is grounds for a real good game. I think if England beat Argentina there, coming into the final, that's going to be a massive confidence boost coming up against either Spain or France. I mean, me personally, in terms of who I'd rather, if England got to the final, I would rather Spain. For the pure fact, France's attack is just crazy. You got Mbappe, you got Dembele, Doué, Elise. So if one's not having a good game, take another one off, put another one on. Their firepower is just ridiculous. Yeah, like we'll see what happens. Obviously, England play. This is Monday. England play Wednesday. You got France on the Tuesday tomorrow, and I'm gonna talk obviously on transfers. I haven't really touched too much in the last video on that. So from like the 8th onwards, I'm not gonna go into every little bit because obviously there's rumours, then there's this and there's that. To add on, so Callum Wilson joined Brentford, I think, on a free after leaving West Ham, I guess, just for extra legs. Daley Blind has returned to Ajax, I think for like the 3rd time. Morgan Rogers seems to be one of Arsenal's top targets. We'll just have to see what happens there. Arbeloa became Fulham's manager, and they're eyeing up Gonzalo Garcia and Mastertuano, 2 of Real Madrid's players. Kamada agrees a new deal at Palace, which is good for Palace. He's a very good player. He offers stability in that midfield. Roberto Martinez stepped down as Portugal manager, so I wonder what will happen with him next. Ipswich signed a Toulouse striker, Emerson, and I'll be honest, I don't know much about him. I don't know anything about him. I wouldn't more touch on the bigger signings. Man U agreed a 50 million deal to sign Chelsea midfielder Andre Santos. Now, I don't understand this. I don't understand why. I don't. At this point, it looks like between Chelsea and United, they're just money laundering because 1 minute Man U signing Mason Mount, then Chelsea signing Garnacho. Now Man U signing Andre Santos. But yet when these players were youngsters, for example, when Andre Santos was at his former club, Man U didn't go for him when Chelsea wanted him. I don't understand it because the guy's not had loads of minutes, and especially at that fee. Leeds signed free agent Harry Wilson from Fulham. Yeah, I just feel like with that, Harry Wilson really only come alive that last season, and then rejected whatever contract offer Fulham were trying to put on the table. They couldn't afford to give him any more, and he goes and leaves on a free. I think it's a bit disrespectful considering he was there for a good few years and they stood by him when he wasn't shining. Dragston seems like he's left Tottenham on a loan, but it's an obligation to be a permanent. Yeah, Bruno G is kicking up a fuss about wanting to leave Newcastle and he wants to join Arsenal. For me, I wouldn't pay above 60 mil for a 28-year-old, no matter how good they are. No offense, and it's just the whole thing of the age. Like, he's Premier League proven he's not a terrible player or anything by that measure, but when you start paying 70, 80 mils for someone at 28, you don't know how many years you can get out of them before they decline. They could decline in 3 years. It's a big gamble in that sense because you don't know, they could get an injury. This like if you're gonna go and have to pay that money, I keep saying it, I'd go and slap the 90 mil on Buadi and just make it happen. There's nothing wrong with Bruno G. He's a good player. It's just the age inside of it and how much Newcastle are valuing him. Of course, they're going to value him in that because of the importance he has to the club and the contract he's under. Just continue going up. I know there's a couple of others. Tchouaméni signed a new Real Madrid deal, so he's obviously not going anywhere. Obviously, because there's links with him to United, so that one's obviously softened. Newcastle have signed Dutch midfielder Sean Stuur on a 5-year deal from Ajax. Again, I don't know anything about him. Arsenal signed Ilian Meslier on a free because he was formerly at Leeds. This is just, he's a third choice keeper. He's not anything like an improvement on Ray or anything like that. He's 26 years of age. He had a lot of potential when he was coming through, when he first broke through at Leeds. I think they put a lot of pressure on him at a really young age. But the idea is he's coming his third choice, and it allows one of our younger keepers, Tommy Setford, to go out on loan and further develop. So it's just extra hands in net, which is fine. Especially, he's not costing anything. And who knows, he could do alright in some cup matches. Crystal Palace signed defender Oscar Mingueza on a free, which that's a great for them. He's not a bad right back. Man U signed Cole Darlow on a free. I don't understand that. No, sorry, not all woken up. Just continuing up, because I say I wanted to touch on the bigger ones than every little thing. Arsenal also signing on Club Brugge's Greek winger Christos Tzolis, who also played for Norwich. He put up good numbers. He's 23 or 24. He looks good. I think he's just a straight up Trossard replacement for that left wing. Let's just see if that works out. Man City signed this goalkeeper, Piers Charles, from Sheffield Wednesday. 20-year-old Northern Irish keeper. He has a bit of potential. He'll be at QPR on loan for the season. He's looks like he can be a good keeper, but then when you got Donnarumma and Trafford's knocking on the door saying I want to be number one, which I think he deservedly should be over Donnarumma. We'll have to see what happens. I'm just scrolling up as I go along. So I'm not going to touch on every little rumour that was reported, because some of them are just rumours and papers talks. Portugal signed Jorge Jesus as their next manager. So we'll see how that works out for them. Yeah, we know about Charles. I don't know why it's repeating it like 2, 3, 4 times. We know about Santos and Darlow, sorry. Yeah, Ederson from Atalanta, the midfielder that Man U looked like they were certain to sign, has completely fallen through. He had his medical, and then, I think that's just been completely withdrawn. So I don't know what's happened there. Man City signed teenager Monga from Leicester. Obviously, he's a sensation. We were looking at him, but apparently Arsenal didn't want to pay the money. I think it's around from 10 mil to 12.5 mil. They didn't want to pay that kind of fee. I don't understand, because in today's market, it's not a lot. But well done to Man City. They've got a really good talent there. Just going through. I think I'm nearly almost at everything. Like, compared to what's gone on. Barcelona signed Adeyemi. So their front three obviously going to be Gordon, Adeyemi, and Yamal. There's Rafinha, there's Fer Lopez. Villa hijacked the deal for Freiburg midfielder Johan Manzambi. Newcastle obviously were in advanced talks with him, and Villa hijacked the deal. Which, yeah. Oh God, I've got an itch right on the edge of my ear. Oh. Looks like Gruder is going to go to Leipzig on a permanent, but he's on loan with an obligation to buy, which would be his second stint at Leipzig. I mean, it suits him because he's German. But in terms of transfers, that's what's been going on. In terms of what I think is going to go on in the World Cup, that's what I believe. I spoke about moving and stuff. I've come to a decision that that's not going to be happening. So I'm settled where I am. I'll be getting back on my feet again. Uh, Obviously, like I say, I can't talk too much, but I've got some focuses on what I'm gonna do, where I want to be at, and what I'm gonna do with that. Um, Eventually, I will move, but that's in my own time. I'm getting a lot of money behind me first in terms of that, so these will be keeping up. There won't be any any impacts on uploads and things like that. As I say, the promoting will come more once I get my phone back to push on my socials. That's something I can't talk on either right now. And I'd say in terms of other bits and bobs I was going to touch on, there will be a time when I can speak, I will speak. But everything seems to be going in the right direction, and I've just been doing a lot of thinking lately. And yeah, I know where I want to be and what I'm going to be doing and how I'm going to get there, which is the most important thing. Yeah, as I say, I appreciate everyone here. I appreciate all your support. We've almost done it. There's, I think, one video where I did do it. I'm hoping in terms of once the World Cup's over, for Arsenal there'll be more activity. What I do like is some of these clubs acting early and spending money early, and especially Man City going big for Elliot Anderson. When Arsenal do look at players and obviously offload whatever they're going to offload and then start moving on certain players, if they manage to pull something off where another club's interested, well, they've already spent money, they won't be able to do that. So it'll be more in terms of the financial spending. So in terms of that, where we've not just acted straight away, we've been more favourable. We're not rushing just to get a player for the sake of getting him because he's available. We're taking our time. We're trying to work on getting some out the door, obviously for registration purposes, because you can only register a certain amount of players, and then freeing up those slots as such, then to bring in. Obviously, from what I've seen, it don't look like Barcola's going to be going anywhere. So now we're looking strongly at Julian Alvarez, and then Morgan Rogers, our number one target. You get those two, that's over 200 mil spent straight away. But that's amazing, and that shows real business. And then really all we need is just one centre mid, and yeah, the window would be 300 mil spent because I'd want Buadi. But then you can look at outgoings. You can Gabriel Jesus and his wages and whatever you can recoup for him. Obviously, Trossard's on 160 grand a week. He's going, you're getting 17 mil for him. You can sell a couple more players. But we'll have to see what happens. And it's been a good video, I think. Let us know your thoughts, any feedback, as say, comments, and whatever else. Please do like the videos. This isn't like some, give me likes. It's more just it helps with the algorithm with the video when I upload. The first one hit like 70 odd once I start getting likes and feedback from people. So yeah, let us know your thoughts. And thank you everyone, and thank you for keeping up with the following.